ain't got no problem with him either. You know, I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting.
He's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money.
Given the history of the sport, I didn't see nobody that can compete with Terence Crawford. And
he older, he got miles on him, and he ain't got that.
You know, I mean, these guys, I don't think know what they do anything. It's mostly talk.
Super middleweight champion of all time, David Benavidez.
This dude can punch.
Where the hell do you go from here?
Terence "Bud" Crawford just accomplished one of the most amazing feats in contemporary boxing history.
Congratulations, man. You did it. I'm so proud of you. You used all my tricks to beat Canelo, just like I showed you. You went in there and you got it done. Unbelievable, bro. All jokes aside, go man. Congratulations, champ. So well deserved. Salute.
However, as the world celebrated him as a legend, a new, enormous danger was put out, causing a tremendous deal of drama and an unexpectedly angry reaction from the man himself.
What do you see for yourself after this fight? How long do you want to be in the sport? How long do you want to be actively fighting?
I don't know. You know,
it's not something you think about. You're just going fight by
I always
fight.
take one fight at a time. You know, one fight at a time. I feel great. I'm healthy, and like I said, I'm looking forward to having some fun.
Many people think that a battle that is being pushed for by a prominent figure in the sport is just too risky, even for a legend like Bud.
I'm sick of seeing fighters getting the easiest fights just because they're getting the biggest paychecks. Like it don't. At the end of the day, it's not even about money. It's about giving the fans of boxing the fights that they deserve. They're paying the money at the end of the day, so fuck, let's go to war. Let's do what these people want to see us do, and let's go to war and may the best man win. I wasn't gonna go down to 168, but now.
What does this fight tell us about the covert forces governing the sport, and why is it being promoted? Crawford's incredible jump to 168 pounds was a risk that paid off spectacularly. In an event so large that announcer John Onike dubbed it the biggest live sporting event he has ever called and held a masterclass, he entered the ring to face Canelo Alvarez.
And I mean, if legacy is something for him, he's got to win one of those two fights. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think in order to prove that he is one of the greatest Mexican fighters in history, I think that he would have to beat one of those guys. You know, and the only person that he hasn't fought is he hasn't fought, Benavidez, and I don't know. Bud said that he wouldn't fight him, but I don't think that that's true. I think that if that fight happens, I think Bud would also entertain that, and if he does entertain it, it seemed like the way that he beat Canelo would be able to beat him again.
The entire world watched as Bud defeated a living icon and won by unanimous decision. He didn't simply win, though. He won that way. Astute observers observed that Canelo's approach had become standardized, depending on a rhythm of one huge shot at a time. Crawford, a brilliant tactician, simply took advantage of this weakness with cunning counters and excellent timing.
He older, he got miles on him, and he ain't got that.
And B-side, when you asked me, you said, how would you beat him, Lonnie B? What'd I tell you?
The same thing. You'll keep the jab on him, keep sticking the jab, moving and touching him with the right hand, and just turning him on angles.
And throwing punches. That's how to throw punches at him.
Yeah.
And that's at level to the body, because that's open for him all night.
You said he ain't got the movement no more. You said he ain't.
Furthermore, former UFC champion Kamaru Usman noted that the once mean-spirited Canelo was not present, raising the possibility that the Mexican legend had lost the mental toughness that previously made him so intimidating. Crawford established a legendary legacy with this decisive victory, becoming the only male boxer in history to be declared the undisputed champion in 3 distinct weight classes.
I want to thank all my fans here that support me. I want to thank. This is bigger than the norm, you know, because I want to thank my urban community. I want to thank my Latin community. I want to thank my white community. And I want to thank my Asian community, my African community. I want to thank everybody, because today you see us all as one. you know. And a lot of people always say, how you get the Mexicans to side with you? I said, they my people too. I said so it don't matter if I'm fighting Canelo. Some of the urban community is going for Canelo.
Furthermore, former UFC champion Kamaru Usman noted that the once mean-spirited Canelo was not present, raising the possibility that the Mexican legend had lost the mental toughness that previously made him so intimidating. Crawford established a legendary legacy with this decisive victory, becoming the only male boxer in history to be declared the undisputed champion in 3 distinct weight classes.
Do you want to see a rematch?
No. It's been he's not beaten Crawford at all.
Okay.
I think he can, can he improve? Maybe.
Okay, so wait. If he's not beating Crawford, which is fair, right? I agree. Based on what we saw, I do think he can make improvements, but who knows? Is there someone else better out there than that you'd rather see Crawford fight than Canelo?
Well, Turki did ask could Bivol get down to 168.
I asked, Turki said can Benavidez.
I thought he said Bivol.
No, I said Bivol.
Oh.
Turki said Benavidez.
Well, certainly not. Certainly not Benavidez. I don't think he's beaten Benavidez. I think that's a bridge way too far. I think a lot of things too far. But could you just imagine if Bivol could, the skill we'd see in that fight?
Yeah.
The rounds between Canelo and Crawford went by like that. They'd be the same against those two. That'd be epic.
Turki suggested what he saw to be the next logical move for the new 168-pound division champion, a confrontation with David Benavidez shortly after Crawford's triumph.
Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh
Canelo.
My God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he was up because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do, bro.
The boxing community was immediately alarmed by the suggestion. It wasn't merely an idle suggestion. It was a decision that caused a lot of controversy, particularly from Bud.
Would you ever entertain a fight with David Benavidez?
You gotta understand.
I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know?
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. His brother was big when I fought him. The only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something. Then he gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude.
And he's skilled.
I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
Yeah, I understand what you're looking at. You're like, you know what?
You just size him up.
Yeah.
You just size him up, especially when you're going into a bigger weight class like that. You size him up and you see your advantage.
Crawford's response was prompt and unambiguous. He categorically denied the idea of taking on the Mexican monster, claiming that Ben's is just too large. Since he and Canelo are at least the same size, even if they competed in separate divisions, he clarified that the Canelo bout was a different situation. He gave everyone a clear image, pointing out that Ben's is about 6 foot and would probably rehydrate to an incredible 190 or 200 pounds on fight night.
Canelo hasn't fought David Benavidez yet, and a lot of people looked at him having to move from the super middleweight to the light heavyweight division to get some of the matches that he wants. But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look.
Right, not now. That 175. Yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no more. When you look at these fights, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, say, all right, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off. And I told him that a long time. I told him that when, before I fought his brother. I said, man, dude, you can fight, dude. You gonna do big things. But the dude gonna come in at like 200, 210. I get why Canelo you know, was like, I don't need to fight this dude because, you know, one, he can take a punch, he gonna come in there and gonna just lay on you and bulldoze you, you know.
Right.
And Canelo just didn't want that, you know what I mean, work. But me personally, I believe in my skills and my ability that I can beat anybody.
He made a startling statement because of how firmly he stood. If I fight Benz, I might as well go heavyweight.
The way Crawford is, Crawford's very like, he has a big ego, especially when it comes to anything he does, bro. He has a big ego. And I said this yesterday. I won't be surprised if he dominates Canelo and then they offer him Benavidez and he says okay.
This was more than a fighter declining a challenge. This was an astute champion making a distinction. Crawford's viewpoint is not the only one. The physical mismatch is a sentiment many experts agree with.
But at the same time, I mean, Benavidez is also the one guy that nobody's willing to fight. And if nobody's willing to fight him, that makes his value more. And so the thing is that if, you know, if you get the right guy that is willing to pay for that, and I mean, that the Sheik, I mean, I don't see him saying that, okay, well, we can't afford to fight this guy. So, I mean, that fight can happen if it's a fight that I think Bud want to entertain.
And what if you're Canelo? I think the only thing you could possibly want is that rematch to get that a little bit of that legacy.
At 175 pounds, David Benavidez, a natural light heavyweight, is presently the champion.
Remember when Floyd said, I think he should fight Terence Crawford, want to be great, he should fight David Benavidez. Remember Floyd saying that? Why do you think Crawford didn't pay that no mind? You know why? He like, listen, man. Nah, I'm gonna be strategic about this. And it is business-wise, it's smart. Terence Crawford is on the Mount Rushmore of boxing, but we got weight classes for a reason. He caught Canelo at the right time, like Canelo done, guys. And I'm not saying that his win is not valid. It's very valid, and that's what he was supposed to do. And he outboxed Canelo, and I can't take nothing away from his win. But was that the same Canelo that Floyd fought? Was that the same Canelo that Amir Khan fought? You know, so Terence Crawford gonna be strategic at this weight. He ain't just gonna come here and I bet you he don't fight at this weight again. I bet you he don't fight nobody else at 60.
Crawford, on the other hand, established his reputation at 147 pounds and is a natural welterweight.
He's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that elevates me and who I am as a competitor.
In a forthright statement, renowned trainer Robert Garcia warned,
I ain't gonna lie, they gonna say see, this is why I gotta let y'all know, cause they gonna say I'm glazing, but I'm telling the truth.
Dig it.
This dude power for me, and I've been saying this for years, it carries through the weight class. Okay. So I can see him in the ring with a 175 or a cruiserweight, and if he touched them, I don't care who you are, you're gonna feel that shit, bro. I don't care who the fuck it is. I done seen him in the ring with a heavyweight.
And you fight Benavidez?
I like Benavidez, so I ain't gonna disrespect him.
I just want to see him fight.
I'm gonna say my opinion.
I just want to see him fight. That's
my opinion.
Absolutely.
At 168, if Benavidez come down there, I don't think he beats Bud.
Okay, I dig.
That's my opinion. People want to say I'm crazy, but
the skill is. I mean, the skill is. No, the skill is there. No,
it's just usually because someone's a little bit bigger, right?
Yes, and they think like, okay, you got to be able to take certain punishment that the other guy's putting on you. But I watched Bud when he fought Canelo, and then I watched Benavidez when he fought Caleb Plant. And when I seen it was like Caleb Plant was outboxing him. So if Caleb Plant didn't gas out, Caleb Plant might have beat him that night. But Bud, he don't tire. He come in tremendous condition, and for me, I just think Bud is a legend. So they might say I'm crazy, but people might say they're not gonna make that fight happen. But I don't think it's far-fetched.
Like that's the
How
that's
much
the
else
big.
we gotta lose?
He been fighting that one. He's fighting him at 68, I think. He can get the.
Yeah, 68 would be
He a big dude.
ideal because he came from 68.
He a big
Benavidez.
dude.
Oh, he came from. Oh, so he went up. Now he has to come back down.
Yeah, he would have to come back down.
Back to the That'd be a
difference too.
that's a fight. Like that's a
Yeah, because
fight.
Benavidez the truth too.
Hey,
he the truth.
Punches and bunches with bad intentions.
Yes, he the truth.
Hey, remember? Hey, go watch it. Go look. Hey, dog.
He the truth. He a killer.
He is our resident fighter.
A whole killer.
Yeah, he watching. He knows.
He's the man we go to.
Garcia described Crawford's fight as awful. Canelo Alvarez was the main target of the bout, and many people think Crawford shouldn't have to clean up the division against a boxer who actually belongs in a weight class higher up the scale.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Terence Crawford, however, has fought against the influential people that run the sport before.
Listen to me.
Almost what the Canelo was.
He will beat the living shit out of Terence Crawford.
If David Benavidez come out of 68, he'll fuck him up. I got Terence Crawford.
That's not
I ain't
gonna
betting against Terence Crawford no more. I mean,
Okay.
I ain't never bet against
Well,
him.
listen to me.
I bet $10.
You see what I'm saying?
But I ain't betting against
Because
That's like betting against
because he outboxed over the hill Canelo. People see how people think,
Yeah, but he's still
he'll crush. No, he dope. Listen, I'm not saying that he's not dope, but what I'm saying is, but you see how boxing can trick your mind. Listen, David Benavidez will beat the socks off of Terence Crawford. I'm sorry, he don't stand a chance. He's too little. How you gonna keep him off? And David uses a jab. I sparred with David. Listen, that's a tough fight.
Yeah, it's a tough fight.
That's a tough fight. Listen.
It's a tough fight, but
listen, Terence Crawford.
That little black nigga from Omaha.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Motherfucker from Omaha, that nigga is a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
In order to establish his own legacy, Crawford has always been a boxer prepared to take on the boxing establishment itself, as evidenced by that bloody, high-stakes fight for independence. He finds himself in a conflict once more.
Just to the need for Benavidez.
Canelo?
Turki
people,
Jock,
people are talking about it.
Turki hinted at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turki,
did.
So.
Turki just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No.
No, they ain't doing that fight. Maybe planning on vacating the belts. No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. We just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our thing.
It's gonna be a tough fight. You can say whatever you want to say. Terence Crawford is one of the best in the division. Terence Crawford opens himself up a little bit. I think one of the major keys is gonna be the jab.
This leads to a more sinister charge that is seething beneath the surface, that influential people like Turki Alalshikh are attempting to use Crawford's wealth to exert control over him. But you must examine the past in order to comprehend why this scenario is so contentious. Although Canelo has faced a number of formidable opponents, including Mayweather, Lara, and Bivol, his particular avoidance of Benz is noteworthy. Benz was the boogeyman of the 168-pound division for years, accusing Canelo of being afraid and saying he had no chance of defeating him at this point. He was continuously excluded from the fight, nevertheless. In the end, the denial compelled him to quit the division. Additionally, this is where the narrative becomes even more captivating. Ben stated unequivocally that he would not back down to 168 for a possible Canelo fight, claiming that he was the one holding the title belt. In a remarkable reversal, Bendiz's father has suddenly said that their camp is fine with dropping back to 168 if Turki Alalshikh wants the Crawford bout. The fact that Turki's money can make even the firmest dances vanish is greatly exacerbated by this abrupt suppleness. However, the entire chess game is taking place in real time. Terence Crawford will be 38 on September 28th, the day of this video. Not only is time passing, but his prime is soon to end at midnight. This gives each choice he makes a strong sense of urgency. The Benz gamble has nearly legendary stakes. According to expert Breadman Edwards, if Crawford prevailed, it might demonstrate that Bud is the greatest fighter in Earth's history. With the win, he might be admitted to the most elite club in boxing history. This is referred to by Edwards as different rooms of greatness. Legends like Marvin Hagler have their own platinum room, while immortals like Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson possess others. Gaining another title isn't the only goal of defeating Benavidez. Crawford is attempting to smash down the door of that last platinum room. However, he has other options besides this all-or-nothing confrontation. Other sharks are present in the sea. A risky battle versus young lion Jiren Boots is what many fans are clamoring for. Then there is the drama that has been boiling with Jamal Charlo since Crawford, in a position of dominance over Errol Spence, pointed at his twin brother and said, "You're next." Some of his closest friends and family members, such as fellow champion Shakur Stevenson, even think he has nothing more to prove and are asking him to retire on this amazing high.